welcome back to another episode of Stafford and Matthew, sponsored by Colin Covers at Colin Covers on Instagram. Make sure you check him out for any sports betting advice you will ever need. He makes people money. That's the bottom line. That's what will entice you to go check him out. But you know what? Money's good. Money's free. Go take it. Anyway, Chris, myself, intern Kev, what's going on, boys? How we doing?
Yo,
what's up?
All right. Wildcard weekend, actually super wildcard weekend, if I should say so myself, was kind of disappointing for me. Didn't love it. Love the 2-day football. Three games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday. Phenomenal. Love that aspect. However, the games left a little bit to be desired, at least for me. Especially a couple of games like Seattle, where I think the game was very slow paced and probably could have been won by either side, specifically by Seattle. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But we'll jump into the first game, which is probably the best game of the weekend if I had to pick one. Colts Bills. Bills take it. 27-24 is the final score. The Bills advance to 13-3. Or actually, no, they don't advance to 13-3. That was a regular season record. They just move on to the next round. And honestly, we all saw it coming. We saw the Bills kind of faltering in the first half and then coming back in the second half, and then Phillip Rivers blows the whole damn thing. That was the blueprint going in. That's what we all thought was going to happen. We thought, Phillip Rivers would have one last shot to win the game, and then he choke it away, which is exactly what happened. It's almost like you write a book before the story even happens. But Chris, what are your thoughts on that game, and what does it mean, I guess, for the Bills moving forward?
I mean, I think for me, man, it was just the fact that he couldn't connect with Pittman. He was open plenty of times on the field where they could have made a first down or even a touchdown, and he just couldn't get it to him, or just to move the chains, anything like that. He couldn't do with Pittman, and that was like the one wide receiver that was actually open the most throughout the game.
Yeah, he was targeted 10 times, only has 5 receptions. To his credit, he had 90 yards, which was good. And Phillip Rivers statistically over the day wasn't horrible. I mean, 27-46, 309 yards and 2 touchdowns, no picks. That's not a bad line when you're looking at it from an analytical standpoint. It's not. But if you sit down and you watch the game, this is why stats are for losers, guys. Stats are for losers because if you watch that game, that stat line tells you nothing about how Phillip Rivers played. Mm-hmm. Nothing. Just because, in the crucial moments where you're supposed to kind of deliver as this veteran quarterback, you're brought in to deliver for these kind of moments specifically. I mean, there's a reason Jacoby Brissett wasn't starting this year is because they wanted experience at the quarterback position. They bring Phillip Rivers in, who's 37 years old, with about 13 kids. And he comes in, tries to start for Indianapolis. And, he has struggles along the way, propelled by a great run game. By the way, shout out to Jonathan Taylor again. Capped off his rookie season with a nice 78-yard game in the playoffs with a touchdown, as well as Naeem Himes, the dual back there in the backfield. 6 receptions or 6 attempts for 75 yards. No scores, but 12.5 yards a carry is no slouch, or no slouch stat line. But Phillip Rivers, disappointing season to say the least. This Colts team is very talented on both sides of the football.
Absolutely.
If they can get, they're pretty much a quarterback away. If I want to get real here, they're pretty much an elite quarterback away. I'm sure they would love to get Deshaun Watson. It won't happen though. Interdivision trades are very rare, and obviously with Deshaun Watson, that's a huge asterisk behind that rule as well. So don't get your hopes up if you're a Colts fan, but you might be in the market for somebody like a Jimmy Garoppolo, like a Matt Stafford. But I guess we'll have to wait and see on that.
Players at all?
Huh?
They aren't bad players at all.
They're not. It's just you do better than Phillip Rivers. That's the bottom line. You do better than Phillip Rivers. I would be shocked if Phillip Rivers is in Indianapolis next year.
He probably might. He probably might just be a backup role just to mentor the young guys.
But do you really think that he'd take the backup role? Like, wouldn't you just retire at that point? Like, I'd just retire. Like, he has millions and millions of dollars. Like, he invested it. He's smart. It's not like he's going to run out of money. Like, I would probably just retire at that point.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. For a lot of people, and I'm not saying this for me because I know for sure I knew my answer immediately. But for a lot of people, when they go through the game, they're as successful as they are, and they're just built into a routine. Like this guy's been in for how long has Phillip Rivers been in the league? Forever?
Since 2004.
Yeah, so he's in a routine now. After a while, sitting on the couch is probably going to be like, you know what, I need to get back in on the field and do this. You know what I'm saying? And I can see them bringing him in and having him as a coaching role for a young guy that they bring in.
Definitely, almost like a Brian Hoyer role this year, kind of a player coach in that aspect, I guess. I don't see it happening, but I guess it's possible.
He still has fire.
Yeah, no, you're right. But for Indy's sake, I mean, I think you probably should have given Brissett a shot here. I think he's talented. I think he has the ability to throw the ball down the field. You saw a couple times, during this season, they brought in Brissett actually to relieve Phillip Rivers in these Hail Mary situations. He would come in to throw the deep ball, and then you actually come in on goal line situations as well to run a read option or every once in a while as well. So he has usage. There's a reason why they didn't trade him a couple years ago. When Luck was kind of contemplating retirement, the Colts kind of knew about that and still were very hesitant to trade Jacoby Brissett. I think there's a reason why. I mean, I think they know the kid has talent. I do want to see him get a shot as a legitimate starter one day, and hopefully that day comes very, very soon.
He's been had a shot. His time has passed. That's what
he's 25 years old. I don't think his time has passed. I think he's shown you enough to warrant at least a training camp invite.
It's like he can't he can't play quarterback. What I'm saying, as a starting quarterback, his time has passed. Like he's gonna have to be a really good backup, and then he get his shot in some crunch time moment where he can prove that he can go back to being the first. A starting quarterback. But as of right now, it's been shown. We've been seeing it years for a couple of years now of him coming in for a couple of games and making his contribution in the game. Now, me personally, I don't think that he's a bad player. I think that he's a good quarterback. But clearly in the coach's eyes, it's not enough because they kept on going back to Andrew Luck, which rightfully so because he was the better quarterback. But also now they're moving on. They moved on. They clearly showed it when they moved on and picked up Phillip Rivers and not let this guy flourish throughout this year.
Hey, if Ryan Mallett could start in multiple places, so can Jacoby Brissett. That's all I'm going to say.
Now, don't talk about my dog Ryan Mallett, man. That's my dog right there.
Is it your dog though?
Yes, absolutely. That is my guy.
Chris, I called him dumb as bricks like 12 episodes ago, and you laughed your ass off.
Yes,
I did. Roll the tape. Roll the tape, Kevin.
We're gonna have to see that. We got you.
We have you in 4K. We got your ass in 4K laughing at that stuff.
No, Joe. I would never, ever. Not my dog.
To your credit, you try to keep your mouth like shut. You try to avoid laughing, but it kind of snuck out. It's on video. We'll find it anyway. But yeah, I'm happy for Buffalo. I mean, it's weird to say as an AFC East, competitor, but I am happy for Buffalo. First playoff win since 1995. It is very strange. It's very weird. But I'm a fan of Josh Allen. Looks great in shorts and is an elite quarterback. So I'm very happy for him, and I hope he continues his run deep in the playoffs here. I don't think they'll make the Super Bowl or anything, but
over the division as well.
What's up?
Dominance over the division as well.
Dominance, I would halt that because Miami's going to be a big player this year. We'll talk about Deshaun Watson. I think Miami might be the landing spot for him, so it might be kind of a competitive division between them. Probably not the Patriots. I mean, probably not, but you never know. You never know. You never know. Speaking of divisions where your favorite teams are getting ruined, the NFC West, the Rams and the Seahawks had a kind of a battle. When I say battle, I mean it's a very, very moronic, very monotone, very hard to watch battle. 20-30 is the final score. The Rams take the W over Seattle. And the one thing I want to talk about here, the fact that they threw how many times did they throw Russell Wilson here? I'm going to get the stats up real quick. They threw Russell Wilson only 27 times. 27 times. This is pretty much a penultimate point in the season, right? This is your wild card game. You play a tough team against the Rams. That's a tough seeding choice. Obviously, the Rams have played you tough historically. Jalen Ramsey's been wrapping up DK Metcalf ever since he's been in the league. So obviously, it's going to be a tough, matchup going forward. This is the game that got Schottenheimer fired. This is it. Schottenheimer got fired, I think, yesterday or today, something like that. And there's a reason why. It's because he put together a terrible game plan. They ran Chris Carson in the worst possible situations ever. It was horrible. I hated watching it. It was the most slow-paced game ever. Let Russ cook, period. Let Russ cook. I want to see this guy throw down the field. 27 pass attempts in a playoff game is not nearly enough for a franchise quarterback. This guy's a top 5 quarterback in the league. I think it's not even a conversation. I think it's point blank period. I think it's solidified. You throw the ball only 27 times. That's embarrassing. Yes, he had a tough time. I'm not going to say he didn't have a tough time. 11 completions on 27 attempts. That is a tough stat line to swallow. It is, especially coming from your franchise quarterback in a playoff game. Yeah, that stinks. He had 2 touchdowns and a pick, 174 yards. But at the end of the day, you have to go balls to the wall. You should not be playing conservative in a playoff game. You need to play to win. And the only way to do that is throw the ball down the field with your number 1 quarterback in Russell Wilson.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I feel you. I feel you on that. I was wondering the same thing. Even though that DK Metcalf had 5 receptions for 96 yards, that just told me that he could do even more if they were spreading the ball out there. And, granted, it's the D line, that's something that you have to worry about. You can't just keep on dropping back and hoping to throw a Hail Mary down the field with DK Metcalf, and you got Aaron Donald sitting in your lap,
right?
As well as the rest of the D line, honestly, because they're all really good. And then you have strapped down DBs like Jalen Ramsey and company. So, it was just hard all the way around. I knew it was going to be a tough game. I knew that there was going to be kind of a mimic game, honestly, both of them trying to run the ball as much as they can. But what surprised me is that even though Wilford got hurt, which that was something crazy, but they let Goff throw the ball down the field. He still threw the ball down the field. So that was interesting to me.
Dude had 9 fingers and still won a playoff game. That's pretty impressive. That is pretty impressive.
But I might be shutting up the haters.
Yeah, no, he's not. No, he's not. He completed 9 passes. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Jared Goff didn't win the football game. Cam Akers did. And speaking of Cam Akers, holy shit, 28 carries, 131 yards and a touchdown, 4.7 yards a carry. The Seattle run defense couldn't stop a nosebleed. It was embarrassing. It really was embarrassing because Cam Akers, yes, granted, great athlete, probably middle of the pack running back, though. I don't really think he's an elite running back. I don't think he's this great big presence. I don't think he's a Todd Gurley yet. And you let him run all over you. It was kind of embarrassing, especially when you're Seattle, who you've been criticized more for your pass defense than your run defense. I mean, run defense has been stellar all year. Not Bruce Irvin, Jamal Adams, Bobby Wagner. The list goes on and on. You are a run stop team. You play cover 3 deep and you run stop. That's been your formula since 2014, right? And you just didn't do it successfully against an injured Jared Goff and middle of the pack Cam Akers. That's embarrassing to me. Seattle should take this personally. They should kind of take some time to evaluate themselves. They already fired Schottenheimer. That's step 1. You have to look at everybody and say, like, hey, what the hell just happened? Like, we're better than this. You went 12-4. You probably could have went 14-2. You have a great roster up and down. There's not much more you can really do besides add a couple guys through the draft and everything. You don't have a ton of cap room. Mm-hmm. It's just like this team should be playing better than it is, and it's kind of embarrassing for me, and especially I'm sure embarrassing for you as a former player to see them go out this kind of in poor fashion in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think it was in poor fashion. I just think that, it was. I can't lie. It was poor fashion, but the team overall, the players is who I'm really more close to than anybody in that organization. They played their hearts out. They played what they can. I mean, they did what they can do within the scheme. They fought hard, and that's all you can ask for. And Tyler Lockett, who was a guest on this podcast. He came down, he made an amazing catch, down the sideline with one hand. They all played hard, man. Hopefully they can come back next year and get one.
For sure. I am rooting for
Seattle. Always hard. It's always hard for them to play. It was always hard for us to play the Rams during this time of the year. I don't know what it was. It was just weird. It just felt like the game was just that much more technical.
Didn't you get injured against the Rams?
Did I? No, I didn't. I don't think I did.
When did you get injured when Lockett came in the preseason? I forget. What team was that?
That was right before the 49ers. I forgot what team it was, but I think I got hurt in practice.
Oh, okay. I thought it was.
I got hurt in practice, and then there was a 49er game that was coming up, which was pissed me off because I'm like, this is my team right here. I get to go in here and light these dudes up.
Yeah, that is tough. Anyway, next game, which was really, really, really entertaining as well. Tampa Bay and Washington.
Yeah.
Tom Brady almost lost. Like he did. He almost lost. It was really, really, really close. 31-23 is the final score. That doesn't tell the whole story. Taylor Heineke put up a unreal performance. This was gritty. This if you want to look up grit in the dictionary, Taylor Heineke's coming up right there. Like this kid played his heart out. Yes, they gave him no shot coming into the game. No shot at all. And it's probably a fair assessment before you see the game, right? Little known Taylor Heineke, Alex Smith's out last minute kind of. You go into the game with kind of no really offensive identity now. Your defense is always going to be solid, but against Tampa Bay, with Tom Brady, Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones, Gronk, Godwin, Evans, I mean, it's hard to stop. Obviously, that's an understatement of the year. But this team played very solidly. I was very happy for Washington. I actually found myself rooting for Washington towards the end of the game. I really wanted Heineke to pull this thing off. I really did. And they were close. They were close. I do have a couple complaints though. That last drive, Washington was kind of driving here. They were only down 8 points. They had a shot towards the end. Mm-hmm. I believe it's for second and like 10, I think, right? They threw that kind of wheel route to J.D. McKissick on the outside. He catches the ball, makes a football move, and then fumbles the ball out of bounds, right? But then they called it an incomplete pass, which was stupid. It's like the Dennis Bryant thing, kind of. A football move? What the hell was a football move then? This dude caught the ball, looked, changed his body direction, and then dropped the ball after like four steps. That's a catch. Like this drives me insane. Like, you don't need a camera to show me that. It's a catch. If this dude takes more than 2 steps and he changes direction, that's a football move. I don't care what you tell me. That's so stupid. And then after that, because it's an incomplete pass, it's 3rd and 10. Then Heineke gets sacked, and now it's 4th and 20,000. And then you lose the game. That changed the entire complexion of the game. If he catches that ball, or quote catches that ball, which he did, obviously, it's what? 3rd and like 2? Instead of 4th and 22, that's a huge difference. So I was kind of pissed about that. I wanted to see them go down the wire and maybe have a shot for a 2-point conversion. Actually, seeing this game in overtime would have been electric. That would have been an awesome game to watch.
It was the best one for sure.
For sure. But yeah, obviously props to Tom Brady, the GOAT. 2 touchdown passes, and played solidly throughout. Obviously, I think he was hoping for a better performance against Washington, who really wasn't, a team that really expected to have a shot against this team. And now he has to walk into the Dome next week against Drew Brees, which will be an all-time game, almost like Father Time's playing himself on primetime football, which would be cool to see. But yeah, what were your thoughts on this game?
Honestly, I thought it was a good game. It was just, a bit slow. I was rooting for the underdog, of course. The wheel route. The real route, that's what the wheel route. That's what I always say. For when times like this happens, you can never just put it in the referee's hands, because things like this happens all the time. And then you got guys like us that comes out here and we have to talk about it and talk about how egregious it was and how he messed up this call and it changed the whole dynamic of the game. That's what I always tell people when you're playing in these sports. You never want to put the ball in the hands of the referee, because it'll never go your way. It'll never go your way. And that's what it changes. And we all seen it. You said it yourself. It changed the whole dynamic of the game, because they were on a run. They were on a hunt for it. And that messed everything up. Everybody started moping around, and half the guys was out of it. The other half is, trying to figure it out and do it by themselves. So
no, you're for sure right. But I will say one thing. Taylor Heineke at least earned himself a roster spot next year.
Oh no, absolutely.
And I'm really
absolutely.
And I'm not. And obviously, there's gonna be an overreaction, of course, from social media, like, oh, this guy can play. He should be a starter next year. Like, no, he probably shouldn't be a starter next year. But high quality backup, absolutely. Grit guy, glue guy in the locker room, yes.
He should definitely get some money off of this.
Yeah, exactly. How about let's get Taylor Heineke on this. We'll have a little grit week. We'll have Taylor Heineke for grit week. I love that. But yeah. Shout out to Taylor Heineke. It was a great game to watch for that kid. Bright future ahead, hopefully. And then Tampa heads to, I think, their doom in New Orleans. We'll talk about that later, though. Anyway, Sunday. That was Saturday. Here comes Sunday. Mm-hmm. Ravens-Titans, 20-13 is the final score here. Baltimore 6-0 in road wildcard games. That's impressive as hell. That really is. Look at that. He's wearing the Ravens. He's
Are we talking about?
There we go.
These Ravens?
Yes, sir. There we go. But anyway, Ravens take the W here. Lamar Jackson's first playoff win. And he did it as a running back. I mean, I don't want to shit on the guy, but he did it as a running back. He did. He 17 of 24 for 179 yards in a pick, passing. In any other situation, that loses you the playoff game. It does. Yeah. But you have Lamar Jackson. You have legs, which is pretty cool. 16 rushes, 136 yards and touchdowns, 8.5 yards a carry, including an absolutely electric 50-yard touchdown run towards the end of the first half there, which was awesome to watch. And obviously, the critics are kind of starting to hush up a little bit. Lamar finally won a playoff game against Tennessee, who knocked him out last year. it's hard for me to talk about this game because I've shit so much on Lamar Jackson and Ryan Tannehill. So either way, I was going to either win and lose this game somehow in some way, analytically speaking. But Tannehill proved me right. I mean, if I want to talk about things that I got right, Tannehill proved me right. 18 to 26, 165 yards, touchdown to pick. Derrick Henry pretty much got shut down. 18 carries.
And that's Ryan Tannehill's fault.
Well, hold on a second. I'll connect the dots for you. 18 carries, 40 yards, 2.2 yards a carry. This was always my hypothesis, right? I've said this multiple times. The true mark of a franchise quarterback is when he has no help. That really is what it is. When Derrick Henry's carrying the load, right? Derrick Henry's been carrying the load for this team for the past 2 years. That's undebatable. That is point blank period. That's facts. They took him away, and they paid Ryan Tannehill to be their franchise quarterback. As a franchise quarterback, you need to be able to win games alone, and he put up 13 points. 13
alone. So you want him out there throwing and catching the ball and running the ball?
Bro, this guy has A.J. Brown on his team. This dude has Jonnu Smith on his team. This dude has
and he throw it to him. What do you want him to do?
I want him to win, Chris. I want him to win.
That's not his fault.
If you put up 13 points as a quarterback, that is absolutely 100% your fault.
That is not his fault.
Chris, how many minutes are in a football game?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You got to listen, Joe. You got to understand that it is a team sport. A team sport. So that means everybody, the person who needs to run the ball, he needs to be able to run the ball. The person who's going to help him run the ball is the offensive line. The person who's going to get them to a successful play is the coach. It takes everybody. It doesn't just take one person who has the ball in their hands. You can hold that. Jared Goff is a prime example. It's somebody who just got benched, who was just benched, and now he only gets in because of an injury. Like, he's mainly one of those guys, but he's out there and he's in a $100 million contract.
No, I'm not excusing contracts, but I will say this: there's no I in team. You're right, but there's an I in win, and Ryan Tannehill needs to get that straight. That's all I'm going to say. So yeah, bottom line, I don't think Ryan Tannehill's the guy. I don't think he ever has been the guy. I think if you thought he was the guy, you're delusional. I really don't think there's no evidence to support your claim that he's a franchise quarterback. That's all I'm trying to say here. He needs Derrick Henry to be elite, to be anywhere near functional.
For the Titans, he works well for the Titans, I think.
Really?
I just think that it was just a hard game. There's a lot of great quarterbacks that go up against historically great defenses, and they just have a good game. Like, they don't blow a team out of the water. I've never seen a quarterback just blow a great team out of the water. So,
all right, well, let's find some middle ground here. Who do you blame for this loss, Chris?
I blame the coaches for the Titans' loss, because they should have known that the Ravens was going to clamp down on Derrick Henry, and they should have did more with the pass game and come up with more schemes to get open shots down in the pass game. So
you don't blame Ryan Tannehill at all?
No.
You're delusional. Next game. I can't talk about this. You're delusional. I cannot believe that. Crazy. Ravens.
Okay, so then let me ask you this. Who had the better game? Tannehill or Lamar? Not
Lamar.
Off of is just who had the better game?
Lamar Jackson.
As a quarterback.
Yeah, because you won.
Okay.
He won. He put up more points than Ryan Tannehill did. That's the bottom line.
Okay.
That's the bottom line.
Hey, you want to go with the Ravens? I want you to go for the Ravens because I went for the Ravens.
Fair enough. Anyway, next game on Sunday was the Bears and the Saints. And before we get into actual talking about, I slammed my phone because I want to talk about this. The fact that Nickelodeon was the prime host of this was ridiculous. I watched a touchdown. I don't know who the hell scored. I was focused on the commentation only. This is what I heard. The NBC guy just going crazy. Like, oh, touchdown. And then I hear this little girl who's 13 years old. Yeah, that was epic. God, I wanted to tear my ears off. That was so cringy to hear. Never do that again. NFL, I am pleading with you. I know this is used as a ploy to try to get NBC, ABC, CBS, and Fox to pay more money for your rights. I understand. I get it. I do. I'm a businessman. I understand. I get it. But please never pick Nickelodeon again. That was painful. You had slime popping out of the corner to the end zone and stuff. Like, I did not need to see that shit. I'm just trying to have a nice afternoon watching football with my girlfriend. I don't need to see SpongeBob running on the field every 5 seconds, okay? I don't need to see that shit. Please stop. Never do it again. Okay. There was football, too. There was football during this game. If you guys don't,
you don't support the kids?
I love Nickelodeon, but I don't like Nickelodeon for NFL games. There's a separation. It's a separation of powers. This should not be happening. I don't want to. Bro, I don't want to see Patrick Star and Squidward's tentacles on the sidelines. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to see that shit.
I like Patrick Star.
Well, also, but so do I. But I'm saying, but like, it's probably different. You have a kid. I'm sure she enjoyed watching the game and everything. If she was on the couch with you, but I'm just saying, I didn't like it. I did not like it at all. And speaking of which, I did not like this game. 21-9 is the final score. The Saints squeak away with a victory here. But honestly, they very easily could have lost this game. Very easily. They did not play well. They did not play good football. It was 10-0 at halftime. That was generous. They probably shouldn't even have 10 points. This Bears defense actually kind of clamped down this offense. And it makes me wonder next week, what the hell's going to happen against Tom Brady? But we'll talk about that later because I do have a kind of a hot take, not so hot take, regarding that game. When talking about this game, Mitch Trubisky did exactly what he was supposed to do. He laid an egg. 19-29. 199 yards, a touchdown, no pick, which was good for him. The no turnovers thing was very good for him. Just wasn't enough for against the Saints defense. They shut the rundown game. Jesus Christ. They shut the run game down. David Montgomery only had 12 carries for 31 yards, 2.6 yards a carry. And Trubisky had 10 yards as well. Didn't really make a difference here. If you can't run the ball effectively in the playoffs, you're not going to win. That's just bottom line. You need to be able to run the ball effectively and shoot that clock, own time of possession to win the football game. That didn't happen. That's the reason why they lost. But I will give credit where credit's due. The Bears defense did play pretty well against Drew Brees in that Saints offense for as long as they possibly could. 21 points in a playoff game for Drew Brees is pretty, great in terms of the Bears defense. So what were your thoughts on this game, Chris?
Well, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say that I'm not watching these highlights for the first time.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say that I didn't watch the game, but I watched a little bit of it and I was just like, this is not a good game at all. I'm watching the Bears actually clamp down on the Saints, and I'm like, are we not trying to play, or are we just trying to get by on the game? So when I figured that out, that's what I put in my head. They're just trying to get by, and they're not really trying to play a football game because there was nothing there to do. You know what I'm saying? The Bears haven't been a good team to stop anybody in the NFL, and now they come out of here this week, even though anything can happen on any given Sunday, but not against the Saints, not against this high-powered team. So, like I said, I'm not going to say I didn't watch the game, and I'm not going to say I'm not watching this highlights right now.
It was honestly like this kind of encapsulated all wildcard weekend here. Boring. I mean, honestly, it was kind of a boring weekend considering how much potential some of these matchups had. It was boring. Yeah, the Colts-Bills game, that was entertaining. Ravens-Titans, okay, entertaining, wasn't great. Had a great ending with Marcus Peters with that interception. That was cool. Bucks Washington, that was an entertaining game, I guess. But Saints Bears was not a fun game to watch at all by any standards. It wasn't really entertaining whatsoever.
It was a game I was okay with missing.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't need to watch all of that.
One game I loved watching though. The last game of Wildcard weekend.
Absolutely.
Browns Steelers.
Hey.
And you picked the Steelers. You're not going to let you get away with that. You picked the Steelers. You picked them. I picked my Brownies. Yeah, I did. And I went, and it's funny. The fact I picked the Browns, as much as I've shit on Baker Mayfield, is astounding. I am such a hypocrite. It's crazy. I took the Browns.
I've been saying that all year.
I haven't said it all year.
Yeah, all year.
But that argument still always like to stand on. But we'll talk about the game first before we dive into that. 48-37 is the final score. Cleveland advances over Pittsburgh. And the story of the game was turnovers. Ben Roethlisberger, 4 picks. 4 touchdowns, but 4 picks. All of which, if I'm not mistaken, came in the first half. The end of quarter one, the score was 28-0. 28-0.
Hey, do you think that these games are rigged? Or at least they have because this game had an eerie feeling of the Super Bowl, the Seahawks versus the Broncos. their first match in
I
New
mean,
York.
I wouldn't say rigged, especially because the Browns were handicapped. You didn't have Joe Batonio. You didn't have, your head coach. You didn't have like half your staff. They were all in COVID quarantining or injured. I think I would be hard pressed to say it was rigged or anything. I think it was dominance. I think Ben Roethlisberger shit himself in the most important part of the season. You go 11-0, you lose your last 3-4 games. You go into the playoffs as a relatively high seed still, and then you lose to the Cleveland Browns, who are handicapped. That's embarrassing. That's tough to watch. But honestly, it was fun to watch because I hate Ben Roethlisberger. I think he's a scumbag. I never liked him, anyway. Obviously, the allegations came out a while ago against him. That obviously had character concerns in itself. He's a Steelers. I hate the Steelers. I always have hated the Steelers. Steel curtain stinks out loud. This team was fraud from the get-go. We tried to tell you weeks ago. If you guys didn't listen, well, start listening now because the Steelers team was never good. The Browns take care of business 48-37. And honestly, it was pretty fun to watch. It was fun to watch.
Kev, do you hear this guy?
Yeah, what about it?
He is something else.
I'm a beaut, Chris. I'm one of a kind.
let one thing go wrong for an elite quarterback. Hey, Joe is all over it. He's a scumbag.
Ben Roethlisberger is so washed up. It's not funny.
It was just about the team. Now it's just him. He's a scumbag now.
He is a scumbag.
All this stuff. I'm like, damn, where was this like a couple weeks ago when he was just 10-0?
Do you not think Ben Roethlisberger is a scumbag? Like, I feel like everyone thinks Ben Roethlisberger is a scumbag.
Yes, but I'm not publicly saying it.
I have no problem saying he's a scumbag.
He's just throwing it out there. Like, he's trying to like redeem himself, trying to get himself right.
Chris,
you just keep throwing it in his face. It's like somebody just walking around. You did something bad and you go back in the room with your mom trying to watch TV with her. She's like, go get your ass back in the house. Go back in your room. Like, damn it, I'm trying to be better, mama. Like,
Chris, have I ever been afraid of being scandalous on the show?
No, you haven't. Joe.
I haven't. I speak my mind. That's the reason why I think I'm pretty successful in what I do. I speak my mind. I have no problem saying it. But yeah, Roethlisberger, scumbag, glad he lost. But it was it was an emotional moment though on the sidelines there after the game. Maurice Pouncey, him, Juju Smith-Schuster on the sideline. They all start crying. Could be Ben Roethlisberger's last year's cap hit is $41 million next year, and he is not worth $41 million. I think we all know that by now. So might be Ben's last.
He just went 10-0.
And then what happened, Chris?
It doesn't matter. He just went 10-0.
It doesn't matter. What the hell doesn't matter?
Who do you coach? Who else is out here coaching another 10-0 team? Not too many of them. It's not too many of them. You have a winning.
That's Mike Tomlin, not Ben.
You have a winning coach. You have a winning formula with Big Ben. It's been proven. Let him.
Okay.
Big Ben is the Big Ben and Pouncey are probably the two oldest dudes on there. Everybody else is young. You got to let them ride. Let them get together, man. Let them gel together. I think Connor should be gone. I think Connor might be gone after this year. Claypool is going to end up becoming a fucking monster next year. Juju Smith-Schuster is probably going to take another backseat role after giving him a chance of being a number one wide receiver.
He's signing with TikTok.
Yeah, whatever. And let that defense
whatever.
Let that defense ride, man. I'm telling you, man, the Steelers is no joke. What I just seen was something crazy. It didn't make sense to me, but at the same time, I'm thinking about it. You got Chubbs out there making his plays. Baker is making his usual rollout plays. He's not like he's just killing them down the field, throwing bombs down the field like that. I mean, he got a couple off, especially one with Landry going down the middle and scoring a touchdown. But overall, it was. Joe, man, sometimes you get me frustrated thinking about what you be saying. It's like, damn, how could you talk about one of the best quarterbacks that's played on this field, and he's done it at a high level for multiple years. Everything else that he's done did off the field, that is that man's problems off the field. We're talking about players playing in between these lines. And that's all we need to be talking about. And is he proving it? He didn't prove it this game. No. but his track record proves that guy is a winner.
No, that's a good take, and I'll tell you why. One, I love to take about separating, players from their outside football mantras, right? OJ Simpson is still one of the best running backs of all time. Yes, he has obviously a lot of shady stuff going on, but yeah, in between the lines.
Well, after he became who he was.
Right, exactly. You can't take away that just because he did something in his personal life. Yeah, OJ Simpson is one of the best running backs of all time. Ben Roethlisberger has his place, I'm sure, in pro football annals eventually. But I will say, Ben Roethlisberger's 2 Super Bowl wins, right?
Mm-hmm.
Against Seattle, which had no business being in Super Bowl that year. Sean Alexander was the only competent guy on that team. Matt Hasselbeck, really? Really? You're gonna play Matt Hasselbeck in a Super Bowl and win? Yeah, shocker. I mean, if you lost that game, it's an all-time collapse. And your second Super Bowl, I will give him a little bit of credit for. That's Antonio Holmes Super Bowl against Kurt Warner and the Cardinals. That was fantastic. That was cool.
Amazing game.
But yeah, I don't know. But I will. But to defend myself a little bit before we move on to our picks here, I can criticize Ben Roethlisberger and say I'm happy that he's losing because of his track record, because that's just my personal opinion. It's not my commentary on him as a player, although there's plenty of evidence to support me saying he doesn't deserve to be paid next year.
Mm-hmm.
But I can still say, I don't like the guy. I like seeing him lose. It's fun for me to say that. I'm sure you said that with Brady. I'm sure you like seeing Brady lose. So I guess, I don't know. I think it's fair commentary, but that's just me.
No, he did have a record number of completions.
Yeah, and also had 4 picks in the first quarter, so that was fun too.
I mean, 500 yards.
Hey, say that again, Kev. What'd you say?
He had the record number of completions in NFL history.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying
is fat L on his face.
Right. But what I'm saying is sometimes it's things like it. For me, when I'm thinking about it, and I'm thinking about what a person is doing and why we even notice them, is their antics on the field. Now, if there's people doing outlandish antics, some might say like Chad Johnson or Terrell Owens, those are 2 guys who have openly done it on the field and have been criticized for it, whether you like it or you don't like it. That's fair game. That makes sense. But anything that's off the field that's not in between those lines is certain things. I mean, I get it. There's certain things that needs to be talked about. I get that, but just having everybody's business out there on the forefront sometimes is not even warranted in certain cases. And I just feel like sometimes we just need to keep it in between those lines.
No, fair enough, Chris. I think you're right. I think actually you're right. I'll agree with you there. I think you're right. Anyway, that's Wildcard weekend, or Super Wildcard weekend, wrapped up for Stafford and Matthews. On to our picks. Divisional time. This is where the big boys come. This is where boys become men.
Lose not one game after this.
This is where boys become men. This is serious. This is where football comes to play. Anyway, we got double headers on Saturday and Sunday as well. Let's jump right into it. Rams Packers Saturday at 4:30. Who you got?
I'm going with the Packers, and you know why. You know why I'm going with the Packers, because they have the best quarterback to ever touch the field. That's why they're going to win.
I'm not even going to acknowledge you anymore because everybody just clowning you in the comments now. I'm not even going to acknowledge it. I'm going with the Packers.
Forget them. They can talk all they want. I'm still going to sit here and say it. Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback to touch the field.
Yeah, nobody else can kick rocks.
I didn't say the winningness. I didn't say that at all. I said
you can't say it anyway.
Quarterback to touch the field.
You can't say it anyway, but yeah, I get your point. Anyway, Packers Rams. Yeah, I'm going with Green Bay. You better believe I'm going with Green Bay. Jared Goff doesn't scare me a little bit. He has to go to Lambeau. He has to go to Lambeau to play a red hot Aaron Rodgers in his Packers offense. Forget about it. It's gonna be a blowout, I think. But yeah, Packers. I like it. I like it a lot. Saturday, 8:15 primetime game, Ravens Buffalo. And I will say, I'm so excited to say this. Saturday looks like there's going to be a snowstorm in Buffalo. This is going to be awesome. Snow football. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. By the way, underrated part of this is a battle of elite running quarterbacks. Josh Allen, I think, has earned the title of an elite running quarterback. Yes, he's not Lamar Jackson. He doesn't run. He doesn't have this crazy agility 4.3 speed, but he's 6'6", 230 pounds, runs like a 4.6. He's a big boy. He's a big dude and runs effectively. So give him some credit. Give him some credit. Madden gave him escape artist. That's all you need to know. But yes, Buffalo Ravens, who you got?
I'm going with the Ravens, baby. You already know. I'm sticking true to my teams. And if the Seahawks was out here, I'd be repping for them too. But right now, I know for sure the facts are that if it's a snow day, that for sure the Ravens, who is already predicated on a run game, is going to lean on that heavily. And then that defense is already shut down. You're telling me you don't have to worry about somebody passing the ball a million times down the field. Yeah, you can get a couple off. That's fine. That's dandy. But we know that a lot of them is going to go without hands touching them. So we're going to lean on that run, stop that run, probably be the hero of the game. Defense is probably going to be the Ravens defense is probably going to be the hero of that game. Come up with a couple with a scooping score, or maybe a pick, a pick six, things like that. I can see that happening for sure with the Ravens. I'm going with the Ravens to win this week.
I'm riding with Bills Mafia, baby. I cannot wait to see this game.
Right.
Josh Allen is going to get a signature W and prove he's the best quarterback from that draft class. It's the battle of 2018 draft class. Is that right? 2018, I think it's the draft class they all drafted in. Yeah, 2018. But it should be a good game. I think, honestly, as just a football fan, it'll be great to watch. Two electrifying offenses, but I do think the key to the game is going to be Stephon Diggs deep on this Ravens defense. Marcus Peters is slower than Brandon Carr. It won't matter for him. I'm sure it'll be Marlon Humphrey covering him, but I don't really trust these safeties against Stephon Diggs. I really don't. And if it's snowing, I don't trust him even more. So I'm gonna go with Buffalo there.
But Stephon Diggs doesn't have a track record of catching balls in the cold.
He has a track record of catching balls in the playoffs. The Minneapolis Miracle, baby. I'm just saying. I like Buffalo this game. Sunday.
I feel you. It was tempting for me, and I was thinking about it. Because I like the Bills too. I feel like they have an advantage for sure. That being his town, and them being acclimated in that weather, and being able to throw in that. But I just believe in the Ravens defense just a little bit more when there's pressing weather conditions out there.
You're a loyal guy too, Chris. You got to go Baltimore there. You're a loyal guy.
I just want to see my guys win.
There we go. Browns Chiefs. And I swear to God, Chris, you picked the pick. I'm going with Kansas City. It shouldn't be a question. It shouldn't be a thought. It shouldn't even be a murmur in the back of your head. If you pick Baker Mayfield over Patrick Mahomes, I can't help you. That's bottom line. I can't help you. I can't recommend you to anybody. I can't help you in whatsoever. I don't even recommend taking him on a backdoor cover, even betting. I can't rationalize a single point of view where you take Cleveland to even cover the spread. Patrick Mahomes is going to wipe his ass with Baker Mayfield's beard. That's the bottom line.
Well, I don't know why I get it. I get why you say that, because Patrick Mahomes' offense is electrifying. They can do literally whatever they want out there. But at the same time, it is the playoffs. People are going to be that much more on point. Just letting people run past him, I don't see that happening. This is a time where, defenses are taking more penalties than just letting people run past them and getting wide open catches and running in for touchdowns. So I see that. Also, it's two people for me who I think can bust this whole game open and really become true stars, which they already are in their own sense, but can transcend the game with their running, is Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. Those two guys, knowing that the Kansas City's defense is not the best defense out there. We all know that, even though they have great pieces out there, but overall it's just not that good. And they're known for giving up passes and runs, especially to top tier running backs like these two dudes. And I'm more than sure that Kareem Hunt is going to be trying to do just a little bit extra to this team for, rightfully so, they let him go, but kicking them to the curb the way that they did.
But I think those are valid points. I think the running game will be very impactful for Cleveland, and it will be the only thing that really keeps them in the game. But if Cleveland walks,
take the time off the clock.
I know. Controlling the clock's the main point of contingency in playoff games. You're right, 100%. If you control the clock, you control the game.
Absolutely.
But if Cleveland walked into Kansas City in Arrowhead and just bites off the Chiefs' head, I don't know what I'm going to react. I don't know how I'm reacting. I don't know what I'm going to do, because like everything I know is based on the fact that the Chiefs will beat the Browns. Like everything in my reality is centered around that. If that doesn't happen, I'm like, I gotta convert to like something else. Like I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do, because I've lost all faith in the world if Patrick Mahomes loses to Baker Mayfield on Sunday afternoon football. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't know what I'll do with myself.
Yeah, no, but honestly, I'm going with the Chiefs as well. I was just giving up the fair points that Cleveland could have a chance if they were to come and play. I don't know. I don't particularly believe in the Browns. They've surprised me just as much as they've surprised a lot of people. Out here. So you know, who knows? But I'm going with the Chiefs. I think that they're just too strong for them, even if they do try to hold the ball.
There we go. Sunday, 6:40 p.m. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the New Orleans Saints. Father time versus father time. The very last matchup we'll see, I'm fairly confident, between Drew Brees and Tom Brady. Mm-hmm. Primetime football, divisional round. That's pretty awesome. Let's take a moment to appreciate that and how awesome it is to see these guys duel it out one last time in a playoff setting. So definitely worth the watch. I am going, with that said, with the New Orleans Saints. I know Tony Dungy and everybody else is saying it's hard to be a team 3 times in the same season, and I agree with you. I do. But there's 2 main points I think that the Saints have over the Buccaneers. One, the Bucs lost their left guard, right? He's gone. He's out. He's injured. He's out for the rest of the playoffs. In the 2 games they played already, Tom Brady on almost, I think, 40 out of his 44 dropbacks the last previous game, he was pressured or sacked. Mm-hmm. That's unacceptable. Mm-hmm. Now you take a part of that offensive line out. That only gets worse, doesn't it? And the Saints defense is obviously no slouch. It's only they stopped the Bears to 9 points, given it was Mitch Trubisky, but still. And the second point is, this is now a fair fight. Mm-hmm. Tom Brady doesn't have Bill Belichick in his corner anymore. He doesn't have Daddy to help him clean up the mess. Mm-hmm. And his defense isn't like stellar either. Mm-hmm. You're now playing you're pretty much playing the NFC version of the Patriots, right? You're playing Drew Brees and Sean Payton. You're playing a lead head coach, a great defense, and a great quarterback. It's a fair fight now. Greatest quarterback of all time versus one of the best teams of the last decade. Mm-hmm. Who's going to win? I have to go with the Saints there. But I think it'll be a good game no matter what. I really do. I think it'll be probably a gutsy game. It'll probably be a down-to-the-wire game. I hope for, everyone's sake it is a good football game, considering it's probably the last time we see these 2 legends play each other, ever. But I got to go with the Saints here.
No, I agree with you on every point that you made, man. It makes sense, especially a guy who's played this game for as long as I did. It makes sense. But I'm going with Tampa. I gotta ride with my dog Tom Brady.
With the GOAT, yeah, definitely.
No. I never said that, and I will never say that. I will never say that. But my dog Tom. Go ahead and get this done, baby. Man, you got too many weapons out there. As time moved on, it's done got better. We've done watched them blow teams out, even though they're in terms of being inferior to the NFL in the NFL realm. I get that, but still, it's still men out there. You're out there, you're running these plays. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. I just feel like the Saints right now has a really good team, but I don't see them beating Tom Brady again, especially now that he's well oiled with his team. They done went through their trials and tribulations, and now that they're gelling together and they're taking pictures on Instagram as a team and stuff and hanging out together and stuff like that. I like it. I like it. I'm not a Tom Brady fan, but I'm a Tom Brady fan for this week. I want to see him win, and of course I want to see my pops hot sitting in his seat drinking his what over there, and me laughing. So I would love to see Tom Brady go out there and win this game. I'm going.
Chris, I feel like your GOAT argument's biased because he stole a piece of jewelry off your finger. Is that true or not?
You said what?
I think your whole GOAT analysis that Brady isn't the GOAT, but Rodgers is. I think it's because he stole a piece of jewelry from you.
Oh no, heck no. What it was when he cheated, when these guys cheated multiple times, and you allow them to still go out there.
Did they cheat against you?
We'll give you repercussions the following year. No, we need it right now. Let it be known right.
What do you want to ban him
today?
What do you want to ban him?
Huh?
What do you want to ban him?
No, I wanted you to suspend that dude right then and there, like you would do anybody else who's not Tom Brady. No, you got to go sit down.
All right.
You got six games. You know what I'm saying? You chilling.
All right, that whole Deflategate bullshit. If a 375-pound Vince Wilfork falls in a ball in the middle of a winter storm, that ball will deflate. That's how it works. That's how physics works.
Any gate. Y'all got everything. Y'all got all the gates. How many other gates do you guys need?
Well, that was a good one. And speaking of which,
you want prison gates?
And speaking of which, Boston's Big Three has all the gates you need on their shop. Check it out. That was a perfect segue. But yeah, that was divisional round wrap up for Stafford and Matthews. Check out our picks. Sponsored by Colin Covers at Instagram. Colin Covers on Instagram.
I'm actually going to bet this week on there.
Yeah, for sure. You might as well at this point. He makes you money. Bottom line, that's all you need to know about him. So check him out at Colin Covers on Instagram. Make sure you check him out and give him a follow. Chris, divisional rounds here. Any final thoughts?
I just want to see great games, to be honest with you. So I can sit back and chill with my daughter and, watch these games and, teach her a thing or two. Other than that, no, man, I just want to, like I said, I just want to see good games.
As do I. I really hope that Bucks Saints game goes, down to the wire. I want to see a great football game. I don't really care who wins. I have no stock in it anymore, obviously, because Brady, broke my heart and left. But I do want to see a great game just for the sake of football, because NFL history deserves a nice duel between these guys, like one last time. I would love to see just one last duel between Brady and Breeze.
I mean, yeah, that'd be fine, but the real duel that I'm ready to see is the State Farm duel. That's the duel. That's the duel I want to see.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool. And Kevin, any final thoughts?
No, I probably just want to see good games too. If every game's a nail biter, that'd be awesome.
Kevin's a man of few words, but he is a man of confident words. I like that.
Absolutely.
Anyway, check out bostonsbay3.com/shop for all of our merchandise and everything else. New logo as well, if you guys want to check that out. It's me and Cartoon Chris. We look pretty fucking fly. I designed it myself. Not to brag or anything, but Boston's Big Three. Check them out. Stafford and Matthews wrapping up here for the divisional round. We'll see you guys next week.